Good evening. President Bongbong Marcos reacts to Vice President Sara Duterte's intention to run for president in 2028. In a briefing on Wednesday, February 18, Palace Press Officer Claire Castro says Marcos only bid Duterte good luck as a response to her announcement. Duterte earlier Wednesday said she will run for president in the 2028 national elections. She also accused Marcos of failing to fulfill his campaign promises. Asked if the president was being sincere or sarcastic in wishing Duterte luck, Castro answers that the president was smiling.
Nadinig niyo po. At ang sabi niya po ay good luck. Yun lamang po. Kapag po kasi nagsasabi si Pangulo ng good luck, nakangiti naman siya eh. So, kung sarcastic to o hindi ko masasabi.
Malacanang also rebuffs Duterte's apology to Filipinos for helping elect Marcos to the presidency in 2022. Castro says their victory was a joint effort. The unity political alliance of Marcos and Duterte led to a landslide win. Each of them garnered more than 30 million votes, securing the majority of the electorate and the highest recorded vote share for president and vice president posts in the post-EDSA multi-party system. Unlike the vice president, Castro says Marcos does not feel apologetic for running in tandem with Duterte for the 2022 elections.
Malamang hindi naman po alam ng Pangulo na ang kanya magiging presidente ay puro bakasyon. At mga vice-presidente na puro bakasyon. Vice-presidente na hindi siya tutulungan. Vice-presidente na ang magiging trabaho ay manira sa gobyerno. Hindi naman niya pagsisisihan kung ano nangyari. Ang gagawin lamang po ng Pangulo ay magtrabaho. Kung hindi siya tutulungan ng kanyang vice-presidente, wala naman po magagawa ang ating Pangulo, kundi magtrabaho na lamang para sa ating bayan.
Senator Risa Hontiveros says the united opposition may name its standard bearer for the 2028 presidential elections by the end of 2026 or in the first quarter of 2027. In a press conference on Wednesday, February 18, Hontiveros was asked about Vice President Sara Duterte's presidential bid. She was also asked about the opposition's frontrunner, with Hontiveros saying the alliance is currently setting its schedule.
Sabi ng mga paborito nating mga philosophers, tayo po ay may free will, so gamitin po natin. Nandun kami sa proseso ng pagtatakda ng aming sariling timeline. So yung free will na binanggit ko kanina ay ginagamit na rin po namin sa sarili namin.
Earlier Wednesday, the Vice President announced her bid to run for president in the 2028 polls as she accused President Bongbong Marcos of failing to deliver on his promises. Meanwhile, Hontiveros says the opposition has been regularly communicating even before Duterte's announcement. She says the opposition has been continuously leveling off and aligning common values. Earlier, Hontiveros said she was open to being the front-runner of the united opposition if the alliance chose her as a candidate.
Nabanggit ko dating common values na nahanap namin sa aming hanay, no? Yung pagnanais para sa anti-corruption and good governance, yung pag-grow at pag-share ng bunga ng ating mas malakas na ekonomiya, isang tunay na pagkakaisa sa ating divided at polarized na lipunan, of course, pambansang soberanya, at iba pa.
Makabayan bloc lawmakers say Vice President Sara Duterte should first answer questions on confidential fund issues raised against her instead of announcing her presidential bid. In an ambush interview on Wednesday, February 18, Gabriela Party List Representative Sara Ilago and Kabataan Party List Representative Rene Co say they believe that Duterte's announcement was just a distraction from the impeachment complaints filed against her. According to Co, Duterte seeking higher ambitions is meant to divert attention from holding the vice president accountable. Ilago says it was ironic that Duterte is aiming for the presidency when corruption issues against her are already staggering. The Gabriela lawmaker fears that this alleged corruption will only worsen if Duterte is elected president. Duterte announced earlier Wednesday her plan to run for president in the 2028 national elections. A year after she was initially impeached, 3 groups refiled their impeachment complaints against Duterte. She's being accused of misusing confidential funds from the office of the vice president and from her time at the Department of Education. All 3 complaints are still pending before the office of House Speaker Boji D. Should the impeachment complaints prosper and Duterte is convicted, she will be removed from her post and barred from running again for public office. The National Mapping and Resource Information Authority releases an updated official map depicting the West Philippine Sea and the country's maritime limits. In a statement, the agency says the updated map consistently uses the name West Philippine Sea in line with government policy adopted in 2012. It says the label appears across the agency's official administrative, topographic, and thematic maps, as well as nautical charts used for navigation. The agency issues the clarification amid public discussion on how the Philippines' exclusive economic zone should be drawn on official maps. According to the agency, under international law, the exclusive economic zone extends up to 200 nautical miles, or about 370 kilometers from the country's archipelagic baselines. This creates what it describes as a continuous curved boundary rather than straight line segments. Because of this, the agency says a short list of straight line coordinates cannot accurately represent the maritime limit. The agency says it is plotted using precise geospatial data derived from the archipelagic baselines defined under the archipelagic baselines law. It also says its nautical charts comply with international hydrographic standards and are used by both Philippine and foreign vessels navigating waters under Philippine jurisdiction. The National Mapping and Resource Information Authority says it will continue to uphold its mandate in support of national sovereignty and sound resource management. And these are the stories you need to know today. I'm Neil Mercado. Follow INQUIRER.net on Facebook, X, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Reddit. For more stories, visit INQUIRER.net. Good evening.